Okay, let's do this part 2. I get pissed off every time stuff like this happens in YouTube. Apologize. Thank you. Let's get it. Hopefully, everybody that was on the other side can join. I saw some people putting names, so please put names of players. That way, my boy here can answer any questions you guys have. I know we were talking about the wide receivers. I'm about to bring him back in. Again, this is Kenneth Berry. You can find him on Twitter at Oso Grande. Also, he is the creator of Touchdowns and Tangents, and he is in Mobile, Alabama currently. Awesome, Garnett. I was hoping you came. So let me bring back my boy here. Okay, so let me recap. You were talking about Pittman. You were talking. Oh, can you recap real quick before we keep going? Oh, the
Yeah,
ones that you
sure.
talked. Sorry.
No problem. So Michael Pittman Jr. has an extensive career. He started off USC on special teams. He said he pretty much was on literally everything. He's blocked like 4 kicks in his career, 4 punts. Had a punt return for a touchdown as a sophomore against UCLA. So he was on gunner, a practice throughout the week. Um, and most importantly, man, he made plays. Like he mastered deep ball catches. Anything that was thrown up, he beat corners quickly and efficiently. A lot of these receivers did. So just to reel off some names for you guys.
So
Now,
separation was there for Pittman.
yeah, honestly, all of them. For
Okay.
it was kind of amazing watching Antonio Gandy Golden out of Liberty,
Okay.
KJ Hill out of Ohio State, Denzel Mims out of Baylor, and Michael Pittman Jr. out of USC. Again, that's just 4 guys. They absolutely dominated their the one on ones. The one on ones were the best part about the Senior Bowl, honestly,
Okay.
because it was just man to man. Those corners had problems all day, and I think all 4 of those guys would be great fits for the Ravens. I would say Gandy Golden would probably be the best fit as far as 6'4". I mean, Hugh Freeze even said, I've recruited like 7 receivers at the NFL, DK Metcalf being one of them, and he pretty much compared Golden to Metcalf, Cody
Okay.
Core, and like Laquan Treadwell and a couple other receivers out of Ole Miss. But Gandy Golden definitely will be a steal.
Okay. So
And Van
side note,
Jefferson.
Jefferson for LSU.
Van Jefferson out
Oh,
of
okay.
Florida.
Florida.
He went
Okay.
to Ole Miss and then transferred to Florida. That dude, great hands. He's got speed. He pretty much won every time he was in a drill. Anytime he was going up in one on ones, Van Jefferson would probably be a steal for the Ravens at
So
the way he's playing.
so I saw some videos from Van Jefferson, and his route routing ability looked nasty. His breaking points, they look nasty. I know my boy Garnett West. He's here. He was one throwing some videos of Jefferson. Also with Pittman, I know you said Pittman. You can see him falling to that late first, early second round. I think right now they have it as a third round or early fourth round. I think that's where currently they have. Obviously, that changes if he has a hell of a Senior Bowl, if he has a hell of a combine. But you're saying for what you saw, you think he should be a late first, early second?
I think second round is his best fit, but I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised if somebody reached on him at the end of the first round. I mean, he's a big receiver. I like he's a big receiver who can do everything, and
Okay.
that's a roster spot. I mean, you don't have to have a guy. You don't have to have multiple guys play special teams. He can already come in and play special teams, and he'll earn his way on the field. 6'3". He's not as jacked as his father, Michael Pittman, but he runs just like him. He'd be an amazing addition to any team that picks him up.
Okay. Um, there was another one that I. So you said Mims. You like Mims also, right?
Yeah, I talked to him yesterday, and when he got to Baylor, they only ran like 1 or 2 routes, but he said Matt Rule changed all that, and they started making him run like a full route tree, and it showed because it didn't really matter what the route was. Even today, they had him on TV using one hand catches in the back of the end zone.
Okay.
He was just embarrassing these corners, and these corners are good. They're not bums. He was just far out in the way. The second day, he might have been the best receiver. Like that's how he just came out with his hair on fire. He was embarrassing everybody.
Okay. So there's two more receivers that I want to talk to you before we step to another position. Um, the guy from Notre Dame, Claypool.
Yeah,
Big
Claypool,
dude. He almost looks like a tight end. What do you
he
saw
really
from him?
does. He actually made some really good catches in traffic, but I think his short area quickness isn't really there. He can beat you deep because he is tall, but I think I could see him putting on some weight, moving the tight end. There's a lot of big receivers here. I mean, you got him, you got Colin Johnson out of Texas, who had a couple drops, but he's a legit 6'6". And he could be another Kenny Galladay, honestly. And I forgot to mention, I already said Van Jefferson, but again, like this was a deep. This is probably the best receiving group in Senior Bowl history, possibly from just
Okay.
how great they dominated. But Jawan Jennings out of Tennessee, everybody write that
That was
name
the other
down.
guy. That was the other guy that I was gonna ask you because I heard a lot of good stuff from Juwan Jennings from Tennessee, and
He's a bully.
the big thing with him is Tennessee has been, the basement of the SEC. Although they have a little stretch run at the end of the year last year,
Yeah,
uh, but they don't have that big time quarterback, so he doesn't benefit from that guy, right? So what do you saw from him?
he's just a straight up bully. He bullied he made grown men look like children. His physicality is second to none in this draft class. He and if he runs fast enough, I mean, his agility, short area quickness, he made a breathtaking one handed catch in the end zone the first day of practice.
Okay.
For media day on Tuesday, it had everybody just up in the arms. He was jawing back and forth with guys like Darnay Holmes. Like he was doing everything you need to do. I mean, Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State
Yeah,
will I think be a great player in this draft. But the problem with him is because I know I saw that name in the chat room.
mhm.
He was medically red flagged this week with a handful of other guys. He was medically
Mm,
red flagged, so you might want to just wait until the combine and see how things work out with him. But he averaged almost 20 yards a catch this year. I think a little bit over 20 yards a catch. Him and Gandy Golden, Ayuk. Somebody said, "Are you going to run a 4.45?" And he looked at him like he wanted to punch him in the face. He's a legit 4.3 guy.
mm.
So, but I don't know if the Ravens necessarily need him because they already have Hollywood
Hollywood.
Brown.
So going back to I'm blanking his name already. The guy from Tennessee.
Jawan Jennings.
Do you saw any drops from him?
I mean, the receivers had a couple drops. The second day, I mean, the first day, the receivers have dominated throughout, but the first day, it was clear that the receivers just went out and caught the ball. Like it was just easier. Corners had to think about more. Um, team drills, corners were winning a lot, but receivers were still making big plays downfield. But as far as the one-on-ones go, yeah, there was a couple drops. There was also a lot of great pass breakups. Dane Johnson out of Pittsburgh, corner number 11,
Okay.
probably the best corner in the Senior Bowl. Intense competitor, forced a lot of incompletions. And I would just say Jennings, you get him, start him in the slot. Start him in
So
the slot. You got him return kicks. He actually, I think he only had he had some crazy number in college where he only had like 57 catches and like he led the country in missed tackles. He had like 32 missed tackles on like 57 catches. Like
okay.
that's insane. So he's grown man out there. He would be the perfect. He reminds me of like when Derek Mason played for the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
No, Anquan played for the
Anquan?
Ravens. Anquan Bolden
Mhm.
reminds me of a young Anquan Bolden, but more athletic.
So funny you say Anquan because I have here again my boy Garnett saying Brian Edwards. He says he plays like Anquan Bolden but runs a 4.4. What is your thoughts about Brian Edwards?
Out of South Carolina, at one point
Yeah.
he was a tight end. He had some injuries, but I think he still needs some work because this is not as explosive off the line, but he is indeed a good, receiver. I think he'll fall later in the draft. And
Okay.
he also, he wasn't at the Senior Bowl, so it kind of hurts his stock a little bit. He'll probably end up running like a 4.53. I don't think he's going to be a 4.4 guy. I remember watching him, against like Appalachian State
Okay.
and other teams like Clemson. He's good. I think you can bring him along, but I don't think he is the best receiver out of this group. He might be a forgotten receiver. Like honestly, there are some guys on this list who I haven't even mentioned who are just really good. Austin Mack was been really good. That's a name y'all should really look out for. Like between the 5th and the 7th round,
Okay.
Austin Mack out of Ohio State. He had some drops, but when he was on, it was beautiful.
There's
So I would.
nothing. There's nothing that irritates me more than drops. We went through it with Perriman. He could
Yeah.
make spectacular catches. He was fast as hell, but oh my god, will he drop easy completions, and that makes me livid. So I
So
will, I will pass at anybody that that is a dropping machine. So now, uh, let's talk about another position that people love around here, outside backer, and Leo
oh
Salas
yeah.
was talking about Terrell Lewis, and I think Terrell Lewis also mentioned that the Ravens were the first team that want to interview him, or that he interviewed with. What do you saw about with Terrell Lewis?
Yeah, I've interviewed him about 3 times this week,
Okay,
and he's gotten past the injuries, the ACLs. He had like an elbow thing, and I think if he eats a clean bill of health at the combine and runs like let's say in the 4.7 range, he's the perfect Raven. He's perfect for the Ravens or the Patriots. Um, Anybody running a 3.4, some hybrid scheme, he can cover. He's not afraid to get his hand in the dirt and rush the passer. I think he would be a great fit for the Ravens. He's tough. He just cares about football, and he's one of those just good, well coached Alabama players. I
how
think
about
he
Rick?
would.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think he's one of the outside linebackers. Definitely, that'll be a really good fit.
Okay, Raekwon Davis.
He actually backed out of the Senior Bowl. I was kind of shocked. He backed out. I think for personal reasons. That was one of the main people I wanted to talk to. He's a defensive tackle. He's like 6'7", 6'8". He's insanely tall, insanely huge. I mean, him not being here might hurt his stock, but we'll see. Because I mean, Christian Fulton was another guy, the corner at LSU, who backed out. So there's a couple guys who backed out at the last second, even though they agreed.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
And how about Fernie Jennings? Hopefully I didn't botch
Really
it.
good. I think, yeah, Anthony Jennings. I think
Yeah.
he might be a perfect fit for you guys. Perfect replacement. There's another guy though that I think you would want that would be an even better fit for the Ravens. Akeem Davis Gaither out of Appalachian State, 6'2", 219, 220. Fast, quick, can cover, hit. He's physical. He's so smash mouth and physical that I think he would be a perfect guy to get in the second round. I mean, unless he just runs an outstanding 40, like he runs like 4.4. Like I'm talking about something so outrageous that it's unbelievable. 4.5. He runs something like that, and then he falls into like the back half of the first round. Out of Appalachian State, Akeem Davis Gaither is a Raven. Like he would clear up so many of their coverage issues, and he can play the run. I think he's physical enough to where he really will get in there and stick his head in there. But
Okay.
if they could somehow get Anthony Jennings and Akeem Davis Gaither, that would fix a lot of the Ravens linebacker issues because Derrick Henry exposed a lot.
We did. They did. So Zach Bond is a name that I think in the Ravens circle I keep hearing a lot. I saw a little bit for him from tape. I have obviously not from the Senior Bowl practice, but from tape, and he looks good. So what do you think, Zach Bond?
Uh, I mean, he looked pretty good at times. I think he'd be a good special teams guy. I'm just not kind of sold on him, but I think he is good. I think guys like Francis Bernard, Evan Weaver, you know, I would lean towards those kind of linebackers would be a better scheme fit. But I mean, as far as him, he can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah,
So it wouldn't hurt to have a guy like that as a backup on your defense. I think the real test is just him running the 40. We got to see if he's another one of those, sluggish, like yeah, fundamentally sound but slow Wisconsin linebackers, or is he a real difference maker? Is he more of a Joe Sherbert? I mean Schobert. I don't think he's going to be Leon Jacobs fast, but
okay.
I think he can be good. I think if he wants to be, closer to a Sherbert kind of guy, Joe, if he wants to be that kind of guy, I think that would be a solid pickup for him. That would be ideal because he definitely is scheme versatile.
Okay. Um, yeah, with Weaver, it's funny because with Weaver, I see him all over the place in mock drafts. I see the mid first, second round. I mean, he is. I think his 40 is gonna be huge for him. Now,
Indeed.
middle linebackers. Let's talk about some middle linebackers here. What middle linebackers caught your eye? What middle linebackers you saw that you think has a potential, maybe early or second day or second round or third round pick? Because in the first round, basically, is Simmons and oh, can't believe his name,
Simmons and Kenneth Murray.
Murray and Murray.
Simmons is more of an outside linebacker just because
Okay,
he's a freak of nature and he was playing outside corner and free safety, strong safety, linebacker, DN. I think at one point he even rushed that D tackle. Like he can literally do everything, but Kenneth Murray is like a middle linebacker, and I don't see him falling out of the 20s because he's probably. Some people say he might run a 4.4,
yeah, he's
but
explosive.
as far as middle linebackers go, again, Anthony Jennings because that's what they have him classified as an inside linebacker,
Okay,
which I think for him is perfect. You also have Evan Weaver, and again, Francis Bernard out of Utah.
okay.
I think those are two interesting. Weaver's a tackling machine. I talked to him about, like, you had like 189 tackles. Like, you look at guys like Luke Kuechly who retired,
Mm-hmm.
after all the concussions, and he was a tackling machine. Like, do you feel like that style of play? Like, does it worry you? Are you worried about CT and any of that? He's like, no. I mean, if I go to Carolina, then it's my problem. It's my job. But if I don't go to Carolina, I don't have to fill those shoes. I just have to be me. And he was really adamant. He's like, I'm gonna show everybody how athletic I am. I feel like I'm one of the most athletic guys here, and people
Hmm.
are gonna see it in the coming months. And I was like, why'd you wear number 89? Like who? Like you know how hard you have to be like an All American linebacker. You're wearing 89. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be a baller to wear that number. And he balled out. And he was like, I started out as a tight end, switched to defensive end, then switched to linebacker, and the rest is history. So I definitely think the Ravens just need a run stuffing linebacker who is
We
just
do.
competent enough in coverage. So I think Anthony Jennings, Evan Weaver, and the quick twitch, fast, physical, very smart Francis Bernard out of Utah. I think those are three guys y'all should really hone in on as far as inside linebackers.
So I have a question here. How about Malik Harrison?
Oh yeah, out of Ohio State, he had a pick today in practice. I forgot about Malik Harrison. Yes, he's another one. Stout. I mean, these linebackers are hitting. I
Okay.
mean, it sounds like an explosion at practice. So I
Okay.
would definitely say, yeah, Malik Harrison. Those four guys. Just think about those four guys because they will definitely, depending on what their workout times are, they can make some noise. And I see in the chat somebody said Troy Dye.
Yeah.
He
And
put out of the Senior Bowl. So I think we just got to wait and see on that one.
how about
He
Jordan
might have.
Brooks?
That's another one. Gotta wait and see. I feel like how the senior linebackers are playing right now, they're all moving up. They've all like I said it earlier. This group of seniors and this Senior Bowl. I mean, obviously there's a lot of underclassmen in this group that are really good, like Patrick Queen There's guys who just love their tape. But this senior group is something special. These guys can play. They didn't stay for 4 or 5 years for no reason. So I would definitely not count them out. And I would definitely say Troy Dye might end up being an outside linebacker, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like he might end up being an outside linebacker at the next level. Middle linebacker, at his weight, he's maybe like 220, 230. Seems like that might be kind of light. It's different, when you're in that Oregon defense and you have that front four, rushing the passer, you got good corners, good coverage, and he can go hit, he can chase people down. But I think if you're going to put him in the AFC North and say you're going to be, the key run stopper, I don't know if he's that guy. And I think you need that guy.
Okay, fair. So interior D linemen, so D tackles or maybe a 3-4 DN, anybody that that was winning battles in those one-on-ones. Because I also gonna ask you about guards coming up, but those battle between D tackles and guards. Let's talk about D tackles first. But what D tackles showed up that looks good, looks fast, good hand placement?
This is gonna be probably the funnest part. This D-line group, the whole D-line group of the Senior Bowl, incredibly coachable, violent hands, man. Like it got physical, it got chippy. Like I liked what I saw. Benito Jones out of Ole Miss, who didn't know what Canada was. That was an interesting thing we found out on media today. He didn't know, but still a good player. Benito Jones. You also have Robert Winter out of Penn State. He can work on his discipline. I'd be a solid pickup. You also have, and this is weird because some of these guys, they had them playing all over. Marlon Davidson kind of jumped inside at times out of Auburn, but he was in a boot for the past couple of days. But as far as defensive tackles, my list goes.
What about Jonah Jackson?
He made some plays. He definitely made some plays. That's somebody who I'm going to say third, anywhere between the second and fourth round.
Okay.
He was out there causing havoc. You got Neville Gallimore, who I was interested to see like how he would, Oklahoma D tackles. They always usually have one good one. He has definitely lived up to the hype.
How about? Hopefully I don't botch this name. Cushenberry from LSU.
Oh man, I'm waiting to talk about this dude. I interviewed him. He's a beast. Okay. He is just a mauler of people. I forgot to say the name out of South Carolina, Javon Kinlaw. He pretty much he isn't playing in the Senior Bowl. He practiced, but he had like some tendonitis in his knee. He didn't practice today. He shut it down, and he shut it down for Saturday. But that dude is they're comparing him to Chris Jones, and they're not going to miss on him this time around. He could go anywhere from like top 10, and let's just say he runs like a 4.8. He could go anywhere from like top 7 to like top 20.
I'll take him if he can be a Chris Jones. We need that.
But that's the thing. For where you guys are picking, I don't think you're going to get him.
Okay.
He is soaring up draft boards. Kinlaw was killing it. Yeah, but you got also Lakai Fotu out of Utah. You could land him, but he had a medical scratch too this week, so he didn't get to perform at the Senior Bowl. But that's something that you could always look forward to at the Combine. And there was another guy, an edge guy out of North Carolina, Jason Showbridge. They had him as an edge, but he kind of bumped inside too, and he kicked people's asses. Like he went to work. And I know he's technically not these two guys I'm about to say aren't necessarily defensive tackles, but as far as just edge and their versatility, Bradley and I out of Utah, write that name down. Bradley and
Bradley
I
and Knight. Okay.
out of Utah, all-time sack leader. Talk to him. He actually played on the same high school team as the LSU D tackle Brandon. I forget how to say his last name. But he played on the same high school team as Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay.
And this dude did nothing but earn money this week. He has a great finishing move around the edge. He's strong enough to where he can bump inside. Utah defensive linemen are known for being scheme versatile as far as, you can kind of slide them across the line. And with their technique, it travels. Kenny Willekes, I think that's how you say his name, out of Michigan State, he's smooth, agile, can make some plays. That's another guy. I think I would put Bradley and Kenny Willekes, I think that's how you say his name, and Terrell Lewis. Those are three guys you should look at just because you can use them as in your scheme and you can move them around. You could definitely move them around.
And that will be more in the outside backer. You don't think they can play inside, right?
You could probably bump them down on, like they have NASCAR packages.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for what the Ravens are doing, they need some scheme versatile guys who are kind of, versatile.
Yeah, I
And I
agree.
think those two dudes could bump inside and garner some pressure. And it wouldn't hurt.
I agree. So, look, Logan Stenberg. That's the guy that I also heard a little bit about him from Kentucky. And then the other guy was Simpson from Clemson as an interior D lineman. Oh
They
no,
had a couple.
wait. They're O linemen. Sorry.
Yeah, for O linemen, I don't know if I said it, but Cushionberry, I think he could play center and guard. And he's really athletic. And he said he's going to show that athleticism when he gets to the combine. I think you should just check off Lloyd Cushionberry. Those two guys, they didn't necessarily stand out to me as much. I mean, yeah, Jonah Jackson stood out. Nick Harris was very scrappy. I would say Matt Hennessy out of Temple. He held his own the whole week.
Did he? So I was gonna ask him because he was from a smaller school, so I wanted to see how he did against bigger competition.
Yeah, and even though you guys don't really need a tackle,
We don't, but
Josh,
we might need a guard. That's why I want to
yeah,
see interior guards.
I'm seeing some guys are pretty athletic. I'm seeing I don't this Josh Jones is probably going to get drafted really high, but out of Houston, he
Mm-hmm.
only allowed 4 pressures the whole season. This dude just whooped people all week. He was a gymnast growing up, and I think I would just want to see if you could put him at guard
Okay.
because he's so athletic. I know he's a tackle, but he's so athletic and powerful. Ben Bradison out of Michigan did all right, but as far as you said Simpson out of Clemson
Mm-hmm.
did all right, but kind of got beat on some reps. I just think as far as O linemen go, you got to look at Damian Lewis out of LSU and Cushionberry out of LSU.
Okay. Those will be your two.
Those would be my two. I mean, yeah, they came from a national championship team, but like Lewis was at a JUCO and earned his way into being a 2-year starter, and he held his own against virtually everybody this week. And I think that's something that you can't take for granted.
Okay. So a guy that I don't remember if he talked about was Robert Windsor. Hopefully I didn't botch his name, from Penn State, or
Yeah, he jumped
Windsor.
off. He jumped offside 3 straight times today in a
Ooh,
drill.
not good.
It was bad. It
Don't
was
like
really
that.
bad. But he's
Don't like
good.
that.
He has potential.
Okay. And you said Gallimore you like, and you also like Kinlaw, was it, for South Carolina?
Yeah, he's the top D tackle.
Okay.
Outside of Derek Brown, but Derek Brown's going top 5 most likely.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. He So one thing, let me see, because somebody asked about, oh yeah, Lamar Jackson. Where's that? The corner.
He did okay. I mean, all these corners took a beating. but they also gave a couple beatings out. That's why it's like kind of hard. And me personally, I just don't trust Nebraska corners. But
Yeah.
he did okay. But I like other corn. I like a couple corners ahead of him. I personally like I said, Dane Johnson. I think Dane Johnson out of Pittsburgh. Tony Pride Jr. did really good out of Notre Dame. I would even go as far as to say Darnay Holmes at UCLA. Him and Van Jefferson got into it. It was chippy. They had to kind of be separated.
Mm.
But Darnay Holmes is going after people. I like that swagger. I like that toughness. I like that confidence. Darnay Holmes is a guy. If you put they don't even need another corner, but if you put him in that secondary with Marcus Peters and all those other guys, and Humphreys and all them, oh
Hmm.
man,
Oh yeah,
I like Darnay Holmes. He should be a first round pick, but we don't. You never know. He did go to UCLA, and that's kind of almost feels like it's a knock because he should have been better than what he was, but he went to UCLA.
Did you end up talking to any of the coaching staff in the Senior Bowl?
Talked to a couple coaches early, but when it came to like practice,
Yeah.
it's kind of like you don't like coaches give coach speak.
Okay.
It's better to just hear from the player
Agreed.
because they'll tell you what they've been going through that week. Like Michael Pittman was talking about how, he was up till he didn't get home till like almost midnight, or almost like 1 in the morning. He was in meetings with all these different teams and coaches, and you ask guys, how your body feel, how are you reacting to the coaching? Like the coaches can only say this is how I think the group did, this is what I think stood out, but the players themselves have been very transparent.
Okay.
Even
Fair.
him, he was like when they had a great week. I was like, your receivers are killing. He's like, man, today was kind of a bad practice. He's talking about, the second day, but the third day, everybody's kind of. It's like the first day, that first group who just went off instinct and ability and picked things up quickly, they shine. And then the second group, you could see the competition level kind of balancing out, but even still, like some guys just won the whole week.
So, a big thing that I have as we're gonna be willing down. So if you guys have any specific questions, let me know so I can ask him. But who's the buzz? The biggest buzz? Who I remember a couple years ago when I didn't know anything about Cooper Kupp, and then people started talking about Cooper Kupp, and I'm like, this dude looks legit. He runs crisp routes. He catches everything. We drafted a guy that also came with a lot of hype a couple years ago, Kenneth Dixon, on the Senior Bowl. The Ravens always have been able to get one or two Senior Bowl, Brandon Williams and others. But who is the guy that everybody's talking about? Who is that guy this year?
As far as bust, you
No,
said?
no, Buzz. Like everybody
Oh,
wants to see him.
Buzz.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody wants to see
Uh,
him. He's been killing it, or he's doing more than people expected.
it's kind of tough because there's so many guys like that this time around. I could just go straight to tackle
Okay.
Alex Taylor out of South Carolina State. The man is every bit of 6'8",
Woo.
and he has an 88-inch wingspan. I
Woo.
was looking at him and I felt like a child.
That's a large man.
And it's scary because he's only going to get better. And once he learns how to use his hands, oh my God.
Hmm.
I'm just saying, at worst, you start him off at right tackle. But the Ravens don't even need him. But that's just a dude that, especially for the pass rush, if he ends up in a team in the AFC, let's just say like the Browns,
Mm-hmm.
if the Browns get a hold of him and can coach him up, I'm worried about that pass rush. But as far as buzz goes, it goes to Dane Johnson,
Okay.
definitely out of Pittsburgh. Kendall Vildor out of Georgia Southern, another corner. I saw some things from Kyle Duggar. It's like a D3 guy.
Okay.
And Zanor Ryan, Kyle Duggar, safety. he made some plays for sure. And then I would say Jabari Zaninga. He showed some things, but there was definitely a lot of buzz on the D line. There was some buzz from Marlon Davidson before he got hurt, for sure.
Okay, so before we go, let's get it. My boy, let's get it says, if you were the Ravens and we're drafting at 28th, who would you draft?
Oh, that's interesting. I definitely would not go tight end. Even though there's some good tight ends in this class, I just every time I think about that Hayden Hurst pick, I'm just like that was such of a wasted pick. But if I was picking, oh man,
Put you in the spot.
nah, because there's so many good underclassmen. But if I had to say, uh, depending on what he runs, if Antonio Gandy Golden is available at the bottom of the first round, I take him.
Tony Kenny Golden. You heard it. And then we talk about him a little bit, but Jay Will says, is Claypool any good?
Good, but I mean, there's nothing special about him as far as like the last three Notre Dame receivers were all 6'5" and could get separation that were kind of fast. Equinemius St. Brown, I'm forgetting who the Boykin,
Working.
and
We
then
drafted him last year.
so it's like it's really almost the same players. Nothing really too special. Be good, you can play a little bit of special teams, but I wouldn't really.
I think Claypool needs to move as a tight end. I think he
Yeah,
needs to just say, you know what, I'm going to embrace. Because he doesn't look quick unless
but
he
he's strong.
just. Yeah, he's strong. But that's what you need as a tight end, right? You need to be smart. You need to know how to position yourself. You need to learn how to block. So you have to be strong. So you can play inline in good hands, right? So I think if he goes and says I'm a tight end, it might be a little bit better for him.
And I want you to remember her name. Wide receiver Devin Duvernay out of Texas.
Okay.
Fast guy, did some things. He did drop some passes,
Hmm.
but still, he's hard to ignore, man. He is incredibly hard to ignore. He made a
Okay.
lot of plays, and he might be a good return man, which is what you guys kind of need.
We do need that. We do need a return guy. So saying that, any return guy on the pop, do you think it could be a good return guy and you know, in the next level?
Oh, definitely. There's about four guys. I don't think Henry Ruggs Jr. is going to fall to you guys, but I just should have said that first. If Henry Ruggs Jr. falls to 28, you run, you don't walk. You run and you draft him out of Alabama. Henry Ruggs the third. You take him if he's there. I don't really
Okay.
forget if Golden was there. If Ruggs is there, and I highly doubt that he will make it past 20, you get him. But
Okay.
Brandon Ayuk out of Arizona State.
Okay.
Juwan Jennings out of Tennessee. James Prosh out of SMU.
Okay.
And Darnay Holmes, a good returning punch. The corner out of UCLA.
Okay. Yeah, because we need that return guy. Our returners have been pathetic in the past couple of years. We had Cyrus Jones and then the Anthony Thomas last year, which is okay. Nothing
Yeah.
special.
I like Juwan Jennings plays like a Baltimore Raven.
Yeah, I keep hearing that name, man. I need to dive into his tape and do more
Punches you
scouting
in
on
the
him.
Yeah, he punches you in the mouth, makes the catch. He's not a burner, but he's gonna get downfield one way or another, dragging you or whatever.
I'm gonna take the
He's
last question for you. How do you feel about LSU's Patrick Queen?
I thought he should have went back, but knowing LSU linebackers, he's probably really fast and can play. So I want to see his 40 time because I know he can play. So
Okay.
that's just what I got. like depending on what he does at the combine. If he runs like a 4.7, I'll be like, you could have stayed in school, bro. Like you kind of had the buzz from being a national champion, but you look at Devin White, he went back for his senior year and
Mm-hmm.
got refined.
Yep.
Like a guy like McQueen, though, I think he'll be good. I think depending on what he runs at, and let's say you can't get McQueen, like I said, you have Anthony Jennings, you have Evan Weaver, Francis Bernard. So this is actually a pretty deep inside linebacker class.
Well, that's good too. So, because for the Ravens, we need another inside linebacker. Depending if we keep or not Judon, we need another outside linebacker. We might need two. We need a D tackle because I think we're gonna lose Pierce.
That keeps somebody.
Well, I mean, we will have enough money to keep some of these, but I think with Pierce, they got Jalen Mack last year, and I think they want Jalen Mack to be that nose tackle this upcoming year, and then keep baby Davis, and then we have the 3-4 DN, but I think we want to get stronger. We got Ferguson last year. And then again, we have Matt Judon. We'll see if we can keep him. He is a free agent. And then, like I said, we need a middle. We need one more middle linebacker. And on the other side, on offense, I think we just need one more good receiver.
You do.
So, anyway, tell my guys what are you gonna be doing in the next couple of weeks, where they can find you, and all that good stuff.
Most definitely. Kenneth Berry, touchdowns and tangents. I'm actually going to be calling into the show. In Alabama, it is 8:26 right now, which means it's like 6:30 on the West Coast, but West Coast time, 8 o'clock. My co-host Pete Camarillo will be going live. Touchdowns and tangents, Good News Radio. I'll be jumping on talking about the draft and a bunch of other things, and going to be dropping a bunch more content, some stuff on Anchor from interviews that I got, where it's just audio that'll be coming out today, tomorrow, and then, the game itself on Saturday. And then some more stuff on Sunday before I head back. And then also, Pete and I were doing the podcast pit for the Good News Radio station for the Super Bowl, the day after the Super Bowl. It's Monday. I think it's February 3rd. I'll have some more information on that on the flyer. It's going to be in downtown LA. We'll be going live at 7:30, from 7:30 to 10, something like that. So, that should be interesting. Got some stuff in the works. The next plan, though, is to, get credentials for the NFL Combine, and we're already planning on, going out to Vegas, doing some stuff for the draft.
Nice. Well, I'll keep in touch with you. Guys, all the information from his website to where you can find him, Twitter, is down in the description below. Also, before you go, somebody asked, who's your NFL team? And give me your Super Bowl prediction.
You said my NFL team?
Yeah, if you have any.
Sadly, it's the Oakland Raiders. I grew up in East Oakland, and it's kind of painful seeing them
leave,
go to Vegas. Yeah, it's like the whole city lost all their teams. But as far as the Super Bowl goes, I gotta go Andy Reid. He has to win one eventually.
I'm with you, and man.
Mahomes is a cheat code.
I agree. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pulling for the Chiefs. I think, especially, I'm a fan of Andy Reid, and he's due. I mean, he's due.
Yeah, I can't handle two heartbreak. How you lose the Super Bowl in the NFC and the AFC? He'll never recover from that.
I know.
I'm rooting for him, and I'm rooting for Tyrann Mathieu.
There you go, Honey Badger. Okay, man. Well, again, guys, you can find all this Kenneth information down in the description below. I appreciate you. I'll holler you back because I'm gonna prepare some mock drafts and all that. Maybe we can do a live mock draft here one day. So we'll stay tuned. We'll stay in contact, guys. Again, check out his information down in the description. My guy is very into the draft. So thank you, man.
Thank you for having me. Y'all have a good one.
You Ravens. Too, bro. Go Ravens. Hell yeah. Okay, guys. Like I said, Kenneth, awesome dude. Go follow all his information. For me, next Tuesday, we're going to have a collab video with Quincy, Ace Boogie, and Tony. So go check it out. Guys, all about love. Go check. Also, there's a video dropping between this week and next week. Just the defensive roster, deep dive. Who should we bring? Who should we cut? That's gonna be fun. So yeah, go stay tuned. And after that, it's gonna be all draft, all free agency. So my guys, go watch that Senior Bowl so we can discuss about it. Go watch Lamar Jackson and the Ravens if you want to watch the Pro Bowl. I'm probably not gonna watch the Pro Bowl. I'm probably gonna watch the skill challenge. But anyway, guys, thank you for joining me on the special live stream on a Thursday. I will see you next time. Peace out. Big trust, my guys.